In this session, we are going to cover the single sign-on, configuring the auth, which is the open authorization method that allows the customers to log in either Facebook, Twitter, Google, or Amazon account on their storefront. Single sign-on is a session and user authentication service that allows your customer to use one set of login credentials, for example, username and password, to access multiple applications. With Presero, there are several methods to enable single sign-on. However, in this session, we are going to focus on the open authorization, where the customers can log in from their Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, or Google account. The very first thing you need to do is to log in to your admin dashboard. The important thing you need to note here, the single sign-on needs to be enabled individually on each site. So let's take an example of this site. You scroll down a bit, you will see an option known as single sign-on. I'll do from the scratch, starting with Facebook. So let's click on Add New. Give it a name. Identity provider will be Facebook. You can give the default user group. Click on Save. As soon as you click on Save, you see a screen where it says Authentication Endpoint. You need to keep a note of this URL because this will be required for later configuration purpose. Also, it asks for the app key and the app secret. This information will be available from the Developers Console guide for the Facebook. Let's go back to the Developers Guide for Facebook. You will find all this information in the support article, and you will get these developers URL in that support article itself. So let's start with the Facebook first. You should be having a valid Facebook account in order to see this screen. As soon as you launch the dashboard, you will click on My Apps. Let's start from the scratch. So I'm going to remove the existing apps and we'll do it from the scratch. Create app. Since we are using it for the storefront, that is for e-commerce websites, so we are going to click on everything else. Give it a name, let's say single sign-on. Create app ID. You will reach to this screen where you need to click on Facebook login. Select web since we are using it, the Presero storefront. Enter the URL of the site. So my URL would be save, continue, next. You need to ignore all this configuration and just hit on next. Now on the dashboard, you will click on settings. Go to the basic first. One thing you need to make a note that you need to put a privacy policy URL, because in order to make this app live, you will require this URL. For now, I'm putting my site URL. Click on Save Changes. Make sure you hit on Save after every action that you are doing on the Developers Console. Go to the Advanced. Scroll down a bit. Here we do not need to do anything, so we'll go to our app which is created. This is the Facebook login app I have created. Click on Settings. Scroll down. This is a very important thing you need to make a note in case of using Facebook. Valid auth redirect URL. And this is the URL you will get from the authentication endpoint. Save changes. Now let's have a look on our app. Okay, as you can see on the basic settings, you have the app ID and the app secret. Like I said, you have this information that needs to be filled from the developer's console. So let's copy the app ID first, followed by app secret. You have an option that says users requires approval. For example, if an unknown user from the Facebook account logs into the site, you may want to require the approval for that user. So you can check this box. Similarly, if you want to restrict specific amount of domains, you can add those domain list here, and those domain will be only be able to connect to the site using their Facebook account. For example, if a Facebook account have email address at abc.com, and if you are allowing that domain here, only that domain that has at abc.com will be able to log into the site. For now, I'm just leaving it as blank. Click on Save. Launch the site. You will see on the login page an additional icon, which is the Facebook icon, will appear. Click on Facebook. It says it will verify or validate your account, so click on Continue. And you will see that you are logged into the site using your Facebook account now. Let's start with the second process, which is Twitter. This is the developer URL for your Twitter account. Make sure you have a valid developer's Twitter account in order to allow the user to log in to Twitter on the site. First, we will look into the Presero dashboard adboard. So click on Add New, Twitter. The steps are going to be the same. This time we again need the app key and the app secret. And you need to make a note of authentication endpoint. So let's go back to the developers console for Twitter account, and let's see what needs to be done there. Create an app, give it a name, add some description here, paste the website URL. Make sure you check this box, which is enable sign in with Twitter. This is a very important thing to note, which is the callback URL. So you're going to copy paste this in this section. It is asking for some description mandatory, so I'm going to put the test value here. Click on create. Now go to the keys and tokens. We will need this API key here. And we will need the API secret key in this section. Click on Save. Let's go back to the login page. Now you will see additional icon, which is the Twitter icon. Let's attempt to log in with this. It says you don't have access to the single sign-on test new. Let's go back to the developers console and see if we are missing any step. So you would need to also verify the permissions tab, edit, okay, it says that you need to also add the privacy policy in order to see this option. So let's go back to the app. Let's fill all these required details. Save. Go back to the permissions, edit, and make sure you check this box, which is request email address from user. Save. Relaunch the site. You will see an additional icon that is the Twitter. Click on Authorize App. You are logged into the site. Let's take a look on the third one, which is Google. So this is the URL for the developers console for Google. In this section, first of all, we'll start with the same process, which is add new, Google, click on save, make a note of authentication endpoint, and this time we need the client ID and the client secret. So let's get this information from the developers console. Go to the Credentials tab, click on Create Credentials, select Auth Client ID. It would be Web Application. Give it a name. Scroll down, and the last option which is you see is Authorized Redirect URL. Click on Add URL. And this is the place where you are going to paste the assertion URL or the authentication endpoint. Copy paste this. Click on Create. You have your client ID and the client secret ready. So let's start with the client ID and the client secret. Save. Relaunch the site. You will see additional icon that has Google. Click on it. And you are logged into the site using your Google account. This is how we make the use of single sign-on feature where a customer can either log in with Facebook, Twitter, or Google account. Thank you.